Hi guys, I just wanted to go through our next assignment, the recipes assignment. I think it could be fun, but I realized in trying this last semester, I wasn't very good at creating directions that were clear when I wrote it, so I'm going to explain it through a video. You'll need your Paideia 1 book or chapter 1 of Paideia, and you'll need your Habits of the Creative Mind. So the recipe exercise is meant for us to think about these rhetorical terms that are mentioned in chapter 1. And just as a reminder, these terms are not meant for you to memorize them. I just want us to put them into practice to become familiar with them so that when we do have these conversations in academic setting, we're not caught blind in this particular conversation. So let's just begin so that I can jump right in and give you guys an example. I want us to find an artifact. After you read this chapter and after you read Habits, find an artifact online. It will be a picture, it can be a billboard, it can be a magazine article, it can be a poem, but make sure you can upload it so that we can all see it. And by all, actually, so that I can see it. I don't know that we'll have opportunity to share it with the class as a whole. For our examples for this lesson, I chose a billboard. So I'm going to turn around the camera. And as you can see, when I ask for a recipe, I'm looking for ingredients and instructions. So to be creative, our ingredients for this billboard would include text, where it says going places. It tells us what kind of car it is. We have a logo in the bottom left portion of the billboard and their slogan that says, "Let's go places." The other part of the ingredients are the objects that we see on the billboard. I think, a kayak. We have mountain bikes on the back of the car, and we have a helmet. I see some camping gear just behind the car, and of course, a nice, shiny, new red car that looks like it has to endure terrain, because if we're thinking mountain bikes, if we're thinking water, it has to be able to go places. So I think they created this recipe really well based on the ingredients they've used. Now, when I think about who the audience is, my first reaction is definitely not someone who likes to stay indoors and read. So my argument would be that they're reaching an audience that likes to do outdoor activities. And I want to say exigence is what sparks this billboard. How did this billboard come into existence, and where is it placed? And since billboards are usually for cars, I'm going to argue that it's by a street. And this was also posted in the summertime when the billboard originally showed up. So I would say the exigence for this recipe is summertime, because if this billboard was posted in the middle of winter, it wouldn't make much sense to have a kayak or camping gear or a mountain bike. And it's kind of like when you think of like a Christmas recipe. That audience is for people who typically celebrate and observe Christmas, and you wouldn't necessarily create those Christmas cookies in the middle of summer because they're meant for a special holiday. So that's what I mean by exigence. And also kairos is another term you're going to come up or that you're going to see in our chapter. And that's also timing. That's rhetorical timing. So that's more what we were talking about, having a summer billboard in summer. Like, that is perfect timing. That is kairos. Having Christmas cookie recipe come out around Christmas time. That is kairos. That is timing. The exigence, I need to retrace my steps. The exigence would be maybe this company saw that there was not a sufficient car that could cover terrain or that could help people explore their outdoor interests. So they created a car that would meet that. And now they're showing what it's capable of. It's capable of holding a canoe and all of the equipment that comes. And I think giving the impression that it's meant to be helpful more than something that is a burden. So that's what I mean by exigence. Sorry about if I threw anyone off. So that's what I mean by recipe. You would include what is actually on the artifact. Is it specific words that are used in this poem? Is it pictures that are placed in this magazine article? Where are they placed within the magazine article? At the beginning or in the middle of the writing piece? And then you would explain who the audience would be for this specific artifact. And the last thing I'm looking for is either using kairos or exigence or mentioning audience. So again, just ingredients is details of the artifact, and directions is either who is your audience, what is the kairos, and what is the exigence. You don't have to do all three of those, just one. I hope this is helpful to you guys. If you have questions, again, email me, and I am happy to bring clarity. Thanks.